on the show. Let's take a break with this song, and this one was brought in by our guest. So let's listen to it.
Misinformation, disinformation, misinformation, campaign against misinformation, disinformation, misinformation. Our mission in Liberia, I say la peace because la Latine can disturb the peace. Too much they say, I say. Verify your information before you like and share. Before you like and share. Before you like and share. Verify your information before you like and share. Before you like and share. Before you like and share. Verify your information before you like and share. Misinformation, that the information that false. But it's just sharing it. Other way is bringing problem, but it's still possible. But it's not that it's not you. That it can have. Disinformation, that the information that false. But it's just sharing it. Other way is bringing problem, but it's still possible. And they know that it's not you. That one get ready here. That one get ready here. That one get ready here. All the cheese and information on Messenger, Facebook, WhatsApp, X, TikTok, Instagram, and all other social media platforms, including online platforms. Make sure the information is correct before you share it. Also, when people bring information to you, you must make sure that true before you share it, yeah?
I am Taweh Johnson, founder and executive director of Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia, a non-profit organization working in Liberia to make citizens responsible promoters of reliable and credible information in Liberia. These are few steps to verify information. When you come across an information online or offline, pause. You pause to understand the information, and then you think. Thinking helps you to ask critical questions. Where is the information from? Who's the source of this information? Is the source reliable and credible? The next step is you verify. It means to make sure the information is true or not. You can verify using at most 3 sources: fact-checking organization reports, reliable and credible news outlets, radio stations, newspapers, and expert reports.
A message from the Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia.
Okay, welcome back to the OK Morning Rush on OKFM 99.5. I'm Joseph Daniels, and my colleague Olive Stevenson is here with me this morning. Strictly, today we will be talking about misinformation and disinformation in Liberia, and this is coming because information disorder is one of the issues in our world that because of social media, it is so much common that everyone has to come across some form of misinformation or disinformation when you are scrolling on social media. So today, to talk more about what is it and how dangerous it is and how to detect it, we've invited Taweh Johnson. He is the Executive Director of Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. Taweh, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Olive. Good morning to our listeners and online viewers. It's great to be with you this morning on the OKFM Morning Rush.
Okay, so tell us about your organization. What is it and what do you do?
Thank you, Joseph. I am Taweh Johnson. I am the founder and executive director of Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. This is a registered non-profit working to improve community resilience to false information in Liberia. We got established in September 2022, and since then we've been working. Our mission is to sustain the peace by educating citizens how to verify information. Our vision is to make citizens responsible promoters of reliable and credible information in Liberia. In rural Montserrat County, particularly Fendel, Carisburg, and Mount Barkley. So we met with over 600 students, senior high school students at those schools, and we passed on tips
on how to verify information online because, most of them use social media. They have a smartphone and they come across information regularly, daily. And when you have a smartphone, you have more than one social media account, the need to verify information cannot be overemphasized because we are now at a point where all of us, there's information overload. Mm-hmm. You have information all around the place. So that's what we did. We visited 8 schools in rural Maserati County and passed on tips to the students on how to verify information. Now, after that, we also conducted a digital literacy workshop for 18 students from 6 schools in Carisburg, Mount Barclay, and Fendel. The reason we did that is because most of them use smartphones and have social media accounts, and you agree with me, Olive, that whenever people always send information, click on this link, you have a scholarship, or we give you a scholarship.
You got a gift.
Yes. Click on this link. Joseph Boaga and his wife will give you data. All of those, such an information has to be verified. So most of the students come across such an information. Now, what we decided to do was to conduct the digital literacy workshop for 18 students from 6 schools and equip them with the relevant knowledge and skills on how to verify online information. We taught them how to use an online application called ScamDoc. ScamDoc is an online application that is used to verify digital identities. And besides that, we also taught them how to verify images online. Olive, sometimes people use information with a different caption. Something that took place in Rwanda, for example, they might take that image and put a caption, "This is in Liberia." So how can they verify if that photo is really, if that photo was taken in Liberia? So that's what we taught them. So we taught them how to use Google reverse image search to verify online images and videos. Besides, we also, during the election, coverage of online misinformation and disinformation in the country. So we brought journalists from Kakata and also Monrovia. We trained them on how to verify online information, election misinformation and disinformation. And I'm proud to announce to you that those journalists have been equipped with the relevant skills on how to respond and prevent the spread of election misinformation and disinformation in the country. We did not just stop there. We also decided to take this same training to Bomi County. And we decided this time to reach out to civil society actors because these are the people in the county. They are the first point of contact. People reach out to them. So we organized it and we brought in heads of civil society organizations, including people with disabilities. We brought them together and we titled it Election Misinfo and Disinfo Training for Civil Society Actors. That training took place in Bomi. Besides that, we also, during the biometric voter registration, we produced a video for the deaf and hard of hearing. Because for us at Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation, we have different programs. We have media literacy, digital literacy. We also have disability inclusion program. We do information research. Now, we decided to reach out to these people because most often in Liberia, they are ostracized, people with disabilities. Yeah. So we produced an audio visual for the deaf and hard of hearing on educating them on the biometric voter registration when it will start. Because even people who don't have any form of disability did not even know when it was going to start. So how one way but them. So they were able to get the information on when the biometric voter registration was starting in Bowman County so that they can form part of the process. So that was intended to prevent the spread of misinformation and disinformation regarding the biometric voter registration and also encourage them to go and to turn out to get registered and obtain their voter ID cards. In that process, we were able to help over 150 persons get their cards, including students, because we did that in Maserati and Bomi counties. So in Maserati, what we did was to target strategic areas, places that they live. Take, for instance, Tour Street. and we visited 2 centers at 12th Street, one at 12th Street and one on the Old Road. And we also went to Bowman County and visited, there was a voter registration center opposite the Oscar Romero School for the Deaf. And we're able to help students there who were already eligible to register, and they were able to get their cards. And what did not happen was we did not allow those students to miss the entire instructional day. I mean, the day at school, because, getting your people are in haste to get their cards. So if you miss school, you have to spend the entire day in the queue just to be able to get your card. So what we did was we were able to reach out to the next staff. We told them that these people must be given preference. We are not saying it's clearly in the biometric voter registration manual. We flipped the pages and we told them that these people must be given preference. So we created another queue for them, and the students came in less than 20 minutes. They were able to, all of them who were eligible to get their cards, they were able to get their cards. We did not just stop there. We are continuing. What we also did early in January 2024, we produced a music. That music was played before we started the conversation. We produced a misinfo and disinfo music for Liberians, because most people, the essence is to enlighten citizens on the need to verify information and the danger of false information in the country. So we decided to do a music, because most often people don't listen to, when you just say something, people really don't get the message. But if you put it into music, it resonates. So we decided mainly we're targeting young people, because, young people now, you see a child who can rap a Liberian musician music from the start to the end. So we decided to take that approach. Let's do a rap music in simple Liberian English. And we did that. And through that music, now we are reaching out to citizens on telling them, and in the music also, it teaches citizens how to verify information. Now, we are using that music to carry out what we are doing now, because we just launched our misinfo and disinfo awareness campaign. This is a big awareness campaign. We decided to start in West Point. The launch was in West Point. We visited 2 intellectual centers there. From there, we moved on to Douala, Town, and we also made a stop at the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinion, CEO. We went there because, CEO is a very hot spot. That's where most people go daily to get information. The reason why we are visiting these intellectual centers is because people go there and get information from there. So the need for them to be empowered with the skills on how to verify information is very cardinal. After CEO, we went to an intellectual center on the Old Road. And then we left from there and we went Peace Island. We visited an intellectual center there. Our next location will be in Pinsville. So this is continuing. I'm also proud to announce to you that we are not just only visiting intellectual centers, but we are also visiting universities. Okay. We are visiting universities and schools. So we have visited AMU, UL, UMU, Stella Maris, and others. So this is a big misinfo and disinfo awareness campaign.
So from what you just stated, you are focused mainly on the young people and people living with disabilities.
No, we are cutting across, because if earlier I said we met with journalists, so our target, we are cutting across. So because this misinformation, this disinformation, it cuts across all sectors. All fields, health, just name it. So that's why we are focusing on particular group of people for now, like those who are the intellectual center members, because they go there and get information daily. But we're not just limited to students. We are reaching out to journalists. We are reaching out to civil society actors. We are also reaching out to people with disabilities. Let me also inform you that we've also extended our impact to TVET professionals. In June, we impacted over 10 TVET professionals. This was a training organized by IECD Liberia. It's an international non-governmental organization. So we taught them on how to manage crisis, linking it to misinformation and disinformation, because misinformation and disinformation can lead to people making wrong decisions. It leads to uprising. It leads to all sorts of things: chaos, violence, instability in the country. That's why we don't want for citizens to just see any information online and share it or like it. you need to verify information before you share it.
Okay, since Joseph, let me just so since your organization is a non-profit organization, and you may mention that you've been able to train people, especially you've been mentioning areas in long distance, like out of Monrovia and all of these things. How are you able to pull that out?
Awesome. So, Olive, we don't have any external support.
Okay.
We don't have any international support to do this. We are using our meager resources to carry out our initiatives because we believe that this is our country, Olive. We believe that if we just sit back and do nothing, I mean, what happens here? I mean, if anything goes wrong, we are affected. Our international partners will leave us here. So our approach is not to wait for support from international partner to do what we are doing, but to do what we are doing, and then our international partners will see our effort and then complement what we are doing. So that's what we are doing at the moment.
Okay. So for our followers, we usually use these terms: misinformation, disinformation. Can you explain what's the difference between the two?
Yes. So these are two words: misinformation, disinformation. So misinformation is a false information, but the intent is not to harm. Disinformation is also a false information with the intent to harm. So in other words, so misinformation is a false information, but the person who is giving it thinks the information is true. Disinformation is also a false information, but the person who is giving it knows that this information is false, but they still go ahead and give it. So that's just the difference. So I always like to give.
So which means they have intent. They are using that for a particular purpose.
So the two words are based on intention. So misinformation is unintentional and disinformation is intentional. Let me give you an example. Take for instance, we are in the classroom. I'm the lecturer, and I say, okay, Joseph, kindly tell the class that I won't be available on Tuesday. So please stay away and don't come. And then Joseph understood it as Thursday, and he goes back and informs Olive, the lecturer say we should not come on Thursday.
That's misinformation.
That was not intentional. Yeah. So that's misinformation. But in the instance where I told you, I said, Joseph, kindly tell Olive that there will be no class here on Tuesday. And you asked me to repeat what I said, and I told you there will be no class here on Tuesday. And then you now, because you, take for instance, maybe you are the head of the press association on campus, right? And you say, okay, but we have a program here on Tuesday, and he's telling me that for us not to come here on Tuesday. How will the program be a success? Now, you are in a very difficult situation. You can't tell Olive not to come here on Tuesday because people guests come, they will say, but these people who are organizing the program, they themselves are not even at the program, so they are not serious people, right? So then you said, no, I will tell Olive to come on Tuesday, and then if we don't see the lecturer, we still go for the program, right? So Olive comes, 15 minutes past, they can see me. Then you say, but Olive, I don't think the teacher will come today. So let's just go, we have our program going on. So let's just
some form of deception.
So, exactly. So that was intentional because you knew that I was not coming. But because you had an objective for Olive to attend the program, that's why you decided to tell Olive to come on Tuesday. So it's the two words are based on intention.
Okay. So another form of information that sometimes we really don't talk about is malinformation.
Yes.
What is the difference also? What is it, and why is it important that we know about malinformation?
So malinformation is a true information, but it's intended to malign someone's character. Yeah. So that is malinformation. Yeah.
Okay. So most of the information shared is on social media. How are you engaging your social media audience to also let them know about some of these information and how to share them and how not to share information and how to verify them on social media?
Yes. So what we do, we carry out awareness and tell them, okay, these are steps to verify information. When you come across an information online, don't be in haste to share the information. The first thing you need to do is to stop.
Because people can really be rushing to share, especially when it's hot news. They want to get followers, they want to get likes.
Exactly. And we are telling them, don't be in haste to share the information. What you need to do is you need to stop. You stop to understand that information that you have come across, to really understand it. Read the information twice, or if someone brings an information to you, tell them to explain it again so that you understand it. From there, you think. Now, some information you can just share, because when you share it, the thing can do. Sometimes you can't even imagine. So you got to think, say, if I share the information, how does it affect me? How does it affect Liberia? How does it affect my family? You think now. Then you say, okay, but the person who has provided this information, how reliable is this person? Is this person, trustworthy? Is this person credible? Has this person been posting reliable information before? So let me give you an instance. They got some people who, when they hear about somebody death news, they don't even call immediate relatives. They just rush on Facebook. Uncle John has died. And before you look, someone who is close to Uncle John, they call you and say, but Uncle John is still alive. Then you become embarrassed and you shamefully go and delete the post. But guess what? Someone has a screenshot of that post. But you see what will happen now? What if Uncle John dies the next day? Who killed Uncle John? Not you. Because you amplify the death news of Uncle John. So that's why it's important to verify. Call. A simple telephone call. It's a form of verification. Call an immediate relative. Hello, can you confirm that Uncle John is dead? But most people, they allow their emotions, people now, information that makes people feel sad, anxious, angry, can lead them to spreading misinformation and disinformation. So we are saying, don't allow your emotions to overwhelm you to share information. When you see information, you need to stop. You pause. You think about the information. And then the last step is you verify. How do you verify? You verify using reliable and credible news outlets. For example, OKFM. OKFM over the period has been credible and reliable. OKFM is a reliable source of information. Reliable and credible news outlets. You can also verify there are fact-checking organizations in Liberia. They produce reports. Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation is one. So those organizations produce reports. You have local voices and you also have station media. Yeah. So in Liberia so far, there are 3 reputable fact-checking organizations in Liberia. So these organizations produce, so you can also verify from those reports they produce. Yes. Then you can also verify just by telephone call, simple telephone call, making it and doing a little background investigation. And we are also telling them that, you see, sometimes when you come across information, you can get so, you can be thinking, but where all that information is coming from? Sometimes it can sound too good to be true. Like, take for instance, somebody will say, you heard about smart AI, eh? Mm-hmm. Many people invested their cash, lost the cash. Why you think that happened? Because they were so excited about the information. I mean, can you imagine when you put 5K, you get 10K?
You get 10K.
That news is very exciting. Because people feel that there's no need to work again. The only thing I need to do, let me take it on 5K.
Yeah. You put your first 5K, you get 10K. You put it back, you get 20K.
Many Liberians were misled.
Yeah.
We did not know that smart AI was in Liberia. You know how we got to know? We got to know when we started hearing testimonies of victims. That's how we took the link. Okay, we took the link. We said, okay, let's run this link through ScamDoc. And then when we ran the link through ScamDoc, it came back to us and said, this link is 1%. It wasn't red. It said the average, the trust level was very low.
Just 1%.
1%. So how can you believe such a link? How can you have so much confidence in such a business?
So one way to also verify some of the pages you use or
an app called ScamDoc.
Can you spell that? So
SCAMDOC.
Okay, ScamDoc.
Yes.
So if you want to verify information, how do you use the app?
Awesome. So that's a whole process that if we that's a whole process, but it's not difficult to use. You just go to Google, you type in ScamDoc, the first option, and then you come down, you scroll down a little. There's a search bar there. Because ScamDoc is used for 3 purposes. Mm-hmm. You can use ScamDoc to verify numbers. You can use ScamDoc to verify emails, and you can also use ScamDoc to verify links. So you just copy the link and paste it in that bar, and then you press analyze. When you click analyze, it will come with the information telling you when was this link created, who is the owner of this link, giving you specific information and telling you the trust level so that you are aware. And what you are doing now, you are informed that if I proceed, anything happens, I will be held responsible. But most Liberians, they didn't even have that knowledge. So you know who they trusted? Their friends, their relatives, their pastors.
As soon as someone shares.
Yeah. So My man, you heard about that information there? This is a God-given opportunity for you to get rich.
I remember one pastor shared testimony that he placed a church offering in that smart
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so you were expecting to get more in, but
and just recently, artificial intelligence is also promoting the spread of misinformation and disinformation. There's an app, there's a video that came up that former President Weah has an app now that will improve the standard of living of Liberia. Very false, fake. That is
it's AI generated.
It's AI generated. So AI is also promoting the spread of misinformation. That's why citizens have to be equipped with the relevant information, with the relevant skills to be able to prevent the spread of misinformation and disinformation in the country. Because we can just let it because now as we speak, most people, when they get information, they will go to another person. They say it's the major promoter of misinformation and disinformation. When you ask them who they say, they can't point at anything. So now when you try to hold people accountable for the information they bring, they'll tell you one thing about you. When people bring information, who they asking it? And
there was certain information like that came out that the former president has passed away. That information spread like wildfire. So I went to purchase LEC token and they were discussing it. So I tried to inform the people there that this is not true, referencing a front page Africa article that showed that the president just spoke somewhere yesterday. The lady says she has very close connection to the former president, so the information she was giving to the people was so true. She was so confident about what she was sharing. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Now, some of the information we also come across is the issue of scholarship. We see those information being shared, give buzz. What's the intent of the person that created that particular link?
Yes, so the main intent is to get the information of the citizens. So take for instance, someone tells you click on this link, you will get a scholarship. So on that link, they are requesting for your name, they are requesting for your phone number.
Yeah.
They will use that information against you. How do you think people are sometimes, they can call you, hello, I'm calling you from Orange office, or I'm calling you from, you get my point, or, those kinds of things. That's a result to deceive you, get your information and use your information against you. So that's why it's very important when you see a link, don't click it. And don't just click it. Copy the link, go to CAMDL and scan the link to be able to come up with the, look at their results, looking at what they are telling you before you can proceed with even going and putting your information, into that kind of application. And sometimes too, it's intended to spread malware. When you click on some link there, your information, in fact, your entire phone.
You
can
use virus in your phone.
You won't start your phone again. Oh, but what happened? And so sometimes it's intended to spread malware, it's intended to deceive people, it's intended to get your information and use your information against you.
So the way we on a normal note these days, we see more news being placed on the social media as compared to the traditional media. So how do you think we can curtail at least to a certain number of mis and disinformation especially when it comes to the social media?
Well, if we cannot curtail it, what we can do is to provide awareness and training for citizens, because you have access to your phone. I don't have control over what you post. I don't have control over what you share. When people are enlightened on how to verify information, when they see a news, take for instance on a blog, because we got many blogs in Liberia, and most of the Liberian blogs, and they can even put references, they can get the information and just post it. And when you come across such an information, you need to ask yourself some questions. Okay, who is this source this person is referencing? How can I go there and see, okay, if it's true? So we need to reach a point where Liberians become critical of the information they see and the information they come across. When people bring information here to you and somebody tell you something, most often people don't ask, okay, man, where you get that information from? They'll just take the information and go to another person. So then the information keeps changing. You remember many years ago, when you heard about that when they said the water will turn to blood? Mm-hmm. You heard about that?
At that time, we didn't have social media.
You can imagine using social media now. Yeah. You can imagine how it will spread fast. And that time, I just word of marvel. Water turning to blood. Yeah. That information went I mean, far.
People ate potato.
Yes, you can imagine. All of that. All of that. So, misinformation can make people to make wrong decisions.
So it's basically because sometimes people are ignorant to some of these things, and more awareness is required.
Exactly. More awareness, training. There's a need for that because we can control it. We can control this. We can't. We can only provide training and awareness to the citizens, telling them that people, when we allow false information to fester, this is what it leads to: violence, instability, chaos, uprising in Liberia. And we
so
don't
I was one person, Joseph, who did not believe that photo I saw of a little boy who got killed during the incident with the police in rehab, and there was a picture with another child carrying more than, I think, 10 to 12 bullets in his back, and they posted that picture and said, well, this is what the police have done. I was like, what? I did not even have to go to do any check. I couldn't just
believe that.
I couldn't just run with that kind of information. It's frustrating to know that what would that child do that more than 15, she had her own war front in the child back, so I couldn't care. But people carry that information. I actually saw it on the social media, and more than 4 or 5 persons, who can say something and you believe. They carry it on the page as well.
So, Taweh, because you just mentioned the issue of these blogs, a lot of them posting, sharing information quickly. They want to be the fastest. They want to get more likes. They want to get more comments.
News.
They want to break the news. And are you looking in the direction of providing training for those people as well?
Certainly.
Bloggers?
Certainly. Other fact-checking organizations are doing the same. We intend to do that. We look forward. We are kindly appealing to our international partners to complement our work, so that, because for us, our approach is not to just stay in Monrovia. Our approach is to reach to the remote parts of the country. Yeah, take the information there, because that counters there, the woman there, go to listen to information. You will not believe, Joseph, when you post something down, somebody way invisible over country will call Monrovia and say, oh, it's not easy than now. Hey, that's what I'm saying. So that's why we need to reach to those parts of the country with the information, put it in the various vernaculars, so that the people can be enlightened. But when you get information, here's what you can do. You can't just run with the information. You got to check and make sure that the information is the correct information before you run with it. So we intend to do that for bloggers.
In the wake of the proliferation of social media pages, people posting from anywhere, you have citizen journalists all over. What can traditional media do in order to help curtail or provide clearer information as it relates to the spread of mis and disinformation?
So what can traditional media do is to confront the misinformation, to inform the public, okay, this is what you are seeing is not correct information. This is how you, as the traditional media person, can be able to confront misinformation.
Do you see traditional media lacking behind in doing that?
Well, to be honest with you, Joseph, the need for training cannot be overemphasized. I believe that if many media practitioners are equipped with the relevant skills and knowledge to counter misinformation and disinformation, of course, we will be, on top of things. But as it is now, most media practitioners go after President Bwaka said, you got my point. So most of them, only a few media institutions really go after those kinds of misinformation. But most media practitioners are always after, the hot stories of what President Bwaka said, what this minister said.
And so we were talking about traditional media and all of what we need to do. So we also spoke about breaking news. So in that instance where, as a traditional media person, you see a certain information, especially maybe somebody who you can relate to, who you believe can really put out the truth, you consider them a source, and then you actually see something on the page or they made news on something, and then you just maybe you close to news time. I'm talking about breaking news now. I'm talking about breaking news, yes. And then you just you went on the person page, you call the person, say yes, they confirming it, and you carry it because you want to break the news. You even exert all of the efforts. You just break that news. How can we now, as traditional media people, handle especially that breaking news aspect, not to get in trouble, because I don't get in trouble for breaking news business. So I can be very, very mindful of breaking news. Yes.
So the first thing is you need to reach out to the person who provided the information. Ask the person, can you tell me your source? Let the person tell you, where did you get this information from, sir? We saw you posting this. Do you have any source? Let the person tell you. Then you now, when they give you a source, then you now can determine if this source is a credible source or a reliable source.
Okay.
But if they cannot provide any source, why should you even, take such an information and elevate such an information?
Okay, Taweh Johnson is the Executive Director for the organization Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. Let's hear from you on the line 0777 700 995 0555 995 995. What do you have to say relating to this conversation? Good morning, you are live.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you for the show. I'm Peter S. Paulo, calling from Singapore.
Okay, Peter.
Yeah, one of the beautiful shows ever listened to today is this show. So I wanted to know when the government officials, somebody state their page, and the original owner of that page has verified it to come and verify that they page the number page. How the public can be aware of it? Thank you.
Okay, I think you got what he said. Okay, Taweh is listening. He will respond to that. Call us on 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 0555 026 995 on the show this morning. Let's hear from you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You are live. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, my name is James, and I call from District 15.
James, please call your last name.
Super.
Okay.
On Messenger, I tried to go through that scandal you were just talking about, but I cannot find my way through, so I want for you to please check it up for me. What of this is authentic or factual, or website.
Okay. Keep listening, yeah? Thank you. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Quickly, let's hear you, please.
Yeah, my name is Momo Kova. I'm calling from Siama.
Okay, Momo.
Yeah, I let it go because misinformation, disinformation, at least in maybe to understand, because more people can come up with information that can bring harm, and also people can bring information that they just want place that they know that it's not true, but they just trying to force my own character because of lies.
Okay.
So I love it because more often on the internet, your university, so how they can really get the fact about institution too.
Okay, thank you. Let's take one more and go back to Taweh. Quickly, you are our last caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Joseph.
Please go ahead.
Thanks for having me. This is Mark Doko, and I call from the grasp of the Coalition for Democratic Change here in Congo. Well, let me appreciate your studio guest for the wonderful explanation. Disinformation and misinformation has the propensity to cause chaos amongst individuals and bring a lot of division in country or between people. So it's important that this information is shared. They are doing extremely well in our country that popular officials will even go on the radio and try to spare out misinformation. They will have to fast check this information and bring them to book. It is good. But he made mention about a certain war. I don't know, it's just scandal. Is this
with you on the OK Morning Rush to enlighten the Liberian people on the need to verify information and tell them that the danger of misinformation and disinformation is just unimaginable. Now, let me also state that the World Economic Forum 2024 Global Risk Report puts misinformation and disinformation as the most severe risk over the next 2 years. What does this tell us? It tells us that the need for for us to provide awareness now and training is now. You understand? We need to reach out to citizens, equipping them with the relevant skills and knowledge. And let me also say that even though there is silence of guns in Liberia, Joseph, but there are other potential causes of conflict. And two of those causes are misinformation and disinformation. So that's why we have to be very cautious on how we share information. Now, going to the callers. The caller spoke about how do you verify a page. So caller, Facebook is empowered to, if you pay for a verified status, so there is a check mark in blue. That's how you can verify, okay, if this page is...
But most government officials do not
They don't have that.
And they need to do that.
There's a need for them to do that because most often people can create all kinds of pages and people will, there are few followers, might be more followers. Where more followers, the page that has more followers, people tend to believe that. Yeah. So we are calling on government officials, kindly verify your pages. If you have a social media account that you use to communicate with your constituents, kindly verify it. Facebook can do that for you. And any other social media that you use can do that. Because that will avoid people just following any page.
Even the president page is not verified.
Can you imagine?
It's not verified. Taweh, thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I appreciate this.
Okay, our next guest will be the head of the JNB Foundation.